Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Simone here, and today I am very excited to announce the Mental Health-athon of 2020. You may have seen on Twitter recently that Nicole from A Beautiful Chaos of Books, Mental Health-athon is her baby. She asked myself and Victoria from What Victoria Read to help co-host the Mental Health-athon this May. So it is a readathon that started last year and was a readathon throughout the entire month of May, where basically it's a readathon dedicated to reading books about mental health or featuring characters who live with a mental health illness. So we are encouraging you to read more mental health books than you normally do. So you could read one book, you could read a load of books, it could be the only thing that you read in May, whatever works for you. I'm so excited to be able to co-host this. I took part in Mental Health-athon last year and I absolutely loved it. And I think it's a really important message to help support everybody and get everybody to have a bit more awareness of the world around them and the people around them. I was just so honoured to be asked by Nicole. Nicole has done an amazing job with planning this one and the last one, and just being able to help her out and just be able to have my input as well was just really interesting. So I've had a really wonderful time in the lead up to this one. This has been in the works now for quite some time. And I really am hoping that a lot of you want to join in and take part as well. So like I say, this is a very relaxed readathon, so you can read just one book in a month if that's what you would prefer, or you can obviously read as many as you wish, but you're going to be taking part no matter which option that you choose, and we're very excited. Like I said, the readathon takes place between the 1st and the 31st of May, so it's the entirety of May, the whole month, which is just going to be so much fun. We'll link down below the YouTube and Twitter accounts for each of the 3 hosts, including myself obviously, so that, like I say, Nicole from Beautiful Chaos of Books, myself and Victoria from What Victoria Read. I will put down below everybody's YouTube, Twitter handles, and I'll also link the Mental Health-athon Twitter account, so you can go and follow that, so you can keep up to date with all of the news. There will also be a Google Doc in the description, which basically will have all of the information that I'm going to give you today, just so you have it there, and it's a bit of a handy reference as well. One way you can take part is to post your TBRs. We love to see what people are going to be reading and your choices and what you think about. If you do that, please use the hashtag Mental Health-athon, so we can see them and watch them, because I'm definitely interested in seeing what you guys decide to read. And like I said, I will link the Twitter account down below, so you can also tag us if you like. Here we have a bingo board, so that you can it can help you choose what to read in the month. So I'll put the bingo board up here. You can either read one book from one of them. You can read in a line, however you want to read that, so diagonal, horizontal or vertical. You can read the whole board, whatever works for you, or you can just read off the board if you don't really want to read something specifically from the board, but obviously that is there to give you a little hint. I will post in the Google Doc down below is the prompts, but there's also an empty one so that you can put your books on there if you wanted to use that to share on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere, social media, or if you just want to use it for yourself. But again, if you share that, please do use the hashtag. So I'm going to go through the prompts now for you. So as I said, the board will be up here. I can't currently see it. There somewhere. So the first prompt, as you can see, is the group book. So we have the group book, A Million Pieces of Nina Gill by Emma Smith Barton. I will really quickly just read the description for this book for you. So it says, "How can I hold myself together when everything around me is falling apart? Nina's always been a good girl, great grades, parent-approved friends, and absolutely no boyfriends. But ever since her brother Akash left her, she's been slowly falling apart and uncovering a new version of herself who is freer but altogether more dangerous. As her wild behaviour spirals more and more out of control, Nina's grip on her sanity begins to weaken too, and when her parents announce not one but 2 life-changing bombshells, she finally reaches breaking point. But as Nina is about to discover, when your life falls apart, only love can piece you back together." So will also be reading this. I haven't read this yet. Nicole read it, I believe, last year and absolutely loved it. And so has recommended it, and I'm really looking forward to reading it myself. I think it's going to be a really, really great one. It's a YA novel, I guess, like a contemporary novel, and yeah, it just sounds like something that's going to be a really interesting read, and I'm very much looking forward to reading it in May. So yeah, that is the group book. I hope that you go and check that one out, because like I said, Nicole has only raved about it. The second prompt is host's pick. So this is to read a book chosen by one of the hosts. So we've all picked one. So Nicole's pick for this is The Stranger on the Bridge by Jonny Benjamin. This is, I believe, a true story, non-fiction story about Jonny Benjamin, who I believe was about to take his own life on a bridge, and then a stranger essentially stopped him from doing that by talking to him. And I think it's about him going and meeting this stranger now, and it's kind of about that, and it's about the his story as well of what happened and kind of how he's dealing with that, etc. Again, this is one that Nicole has raved about, and I am really, really excited to read this one because it just sounds great. I also follow Jonny Benjamin on YouTube, so I'll link his channel down below. Yeah, I think that he is just an inspirational man, and yeah, I definitely want to read it. But yeah, that is Nicole's pick. Victoria's pick is a book that I also really, really loved, and that is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. This is a I guess YA novel that follows a girl who has this follows a girl named Asa Holmes, who is suffering with intrusive thoughts and obsessive tendencies, I guess. I don't think it's ever explicitly diagnosed in the book, but it's a really, really interesting, it talks a lot, like I said, about intrusive thoughts, and I think it's a very interesting book. It follows Asa and her kind of daily life, but she's also trying to figure out what happened to her friend's billionaire father who was gone missing. And yeah, it was a really interesting read. I really enjoyed it, and it's a John Green book, and I feel like John Green did a really good job with this particular one. So yeah, would highly recommend, and like I said, that one is Victoria's pick. And then we have my pick. So the pick that I have gone for, I really thought very long and hard about which one I was going to go for, and I changed my mind a few times, but I decided that I wanted loads of people to read Eleanor Oliphant Is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. So I really, really love this book, and I read it, I think it was early last year, and yeah, just fell in love with it. I even bought it for my mum on Mother's Day for her to read, and yeah, honestly, it's such a good book. It basically follows a woman named Eleanor Oliphant who is kind of going about her life. She doesn't really have any social contact. She goes to work, and the last person she sees on a Friday night is the bus driver, and then she doesn't see anybody else then until Monday morning when the bus driver picks her up. She is quite dependent on alcohol at times. She has quite traumatic experiences, and then she meets, well, then there is a something happens that forces her to essentially be close to somebody else, or to have some interaction with somebody else, and it's kind of about that. It's really hard to explain this book without you actually reading it, but it's a really beautiful story, and I think Eleanor as a character is just so interesting and so wonderful, and I really loved the mental health representation in this one. So yes, I highly recommend it. The next prompt is learn more about. So this is to read a book about mental health or featuring a character living with a mental illness that you don't know much about and you want to learn more about. So it could be anxiety, it could be bipolar disorder, it could be PTSD, it could be anything that you don't really know a lot about and you want to learn more about. You can read a book for this space that you want to learn more about. Then we have oldest mental health book on your TBR, which is a book about mental health or a book featuring a mental characters living with a mental health illness that you have had on your TBR for the longest time. So this is helping you clear some of those old books that you've had for a long time that you still want to read. Then we have self-care, which is a free space, which is supposed to be a chance for you to look after yourself, which is a chance to have a I don't know, cook something for yourself, pamper yourself, have some exercise, listen to some music and dance around the room, like whatever it is that you do. Go and have a bath maybe. Whatever you do for self-care, or whatever you want to do for self-care, this is your opportunity. It's part of the readathon. You can go ahead and just have a day or have an evening and just be able to just relax and do the things that you want to do for you. The next prompt is newest mental health book on your TBR, which again is a book about mental health or a book featuring characters with a mental health illness that is the newest on your TBR and the most recent acquisition. Next up is mental health non-fiction. This one is a non-fiction book about mental health, so it could be a self-help book, it could be a memoir, it could be a book featuring people with mental health illnesses throughout maybe. Yeah, completely up to you what you want to read. Next up is YA mental health book. So again, self-explanatory. This is a book about mental health or a book featuring a character living with a mental illness that is YA. And the last one is a book with green on the cover. So this again is a book about mental health or featuring characters with a mental health illness that has green anywhere on the cover in any amount, because green, if you didn't know, is the colour for mental health awareness. So it's definitely something that we wanted to include. So there are, you can double up for these prompts. You can just read one book for all the prompts. You can read one book for each prompt. You can read multiple books for each prompt. It's completely up to you. Like I said, this is a very chilled, relaxed readathon. I'm really, really excited about it. And like I said, if you want to post your TBRs, we'd be very excited to see what you've decided to read, and it's all very exciting. There isn't going to be a live show or a group chat about the book or discussing the book, the group book, but we do highly recommend that you read it because, like I said, Nicole's raved about this book and I certainly am going to be reading it. It's going to be one of my TBR books, little spoiler there. There also isn't going to be a competition this year, but like I said, please come in. It's all about the joy and the love for the you know, for joining in and talking to other people about the books that you're reading. So definitely please do join in. We're very excited. There will be a mental health in booktube tag that will be coming out later on this month to celebrate the readathon and obviously to get people to do it as well. We would love to see other people do it as well. So like I said, that will be coming out in a few weeks, so you can look out for that. Two things that we wanted to just mention. When you're talking about the readathon, and just to make sure that we're being very respectful towards other people, we just want to make sure, please try not to use the phrase commit suicide, because has very negative connotations. Try to say they took their own life or they died by suicide. It's just something to stop triggering. Make sure you don't trigger other people, and just be, like I say, be respectful to everybody. The other thing to try not to say is suffering or struggling with mental health, because we don't know people's specific circumstances, so we don't know if people are suffering or struggling or whether they just have this mental illness. So like I say, this is all supposed to be a fun readathon. We're really excited. We want you to be able to discover some great books and to talk about some great books and some great representations for lots of different mental illnesses. Sometimes these books can be a bit triggering for some people, and obviously we want this to be a fun and safe mental health time as well. So we would say if you get triggered at all or you start to feel triggered, please don't feel like you have to keep reading a book just because it fits a prompt. If you find one that's really hard for you, just put it down and don't feel like you just have to carry on just because of this, you know, because it's a prompt and you have to try and finish it. We really want your mental health to come first. That's the biggest thing that we want to come from these videos. Like I said, if you are recommending books during this time as well, or in your TBR video, try to give trigger warnings where you can. Obviously we don't want people to be ill or have issues due to this readathon. Like I said, this is meant to be about spreading the awareness and love and not making people feel rubbish. So we want this to be fun, we want this to be safe, and we're very excited. And yes, I'm really excited to be hosting and co-hosting and just enjoying the experience. I will try and be on Twitter as much as possible over this time. So yeah, like I said, do use the hashtag Mentalhealth-athon, and we will be able to share all your posts. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on taking part. I'm really excited. Love you guys so much, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and go and subscribe to the other two girls if you haven't already, and go follow Mental Health-athon on Twitter. And we love you lots, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.